How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to the Supporters Club. I hope you guys are all good and well. The Euros are coming to an end now. Pre-season has just started a few days ago. I don't know if we're excited yet. You know, we got told to be excited a couple of years ago and we're still waiting here. I've got Lee Judges back again. How's it going, Lee?
I'm all good, thank you very much. Very good, very good.
Happy with England in the final?
Happy England are in the final. So we're playing the Italians, the diving Italians, so I've been told, like, you know what I mean, by Laurie. Certainly not.
Speaking of Italians, James, how's it going, mate?
Very good, looking forward to diving our way towards the trophy. It'll be good fun, I'll be there sort of diving, grabbing it and off we go.
Yeah.
Nah, listen, we'll see what happens.
It is what it is, a big final. Two big, massive footballing nations, so it's a big final at hand. But like I said, pre-season is back. Arsenal are back in action soon, couple pre-season friendlies.
Same squad.
That's
same
the key.
manager.
That's what I was going to ask.
Same mess.
So, well, I'm just glad the Euros are on at the moment because it just took my focus away from Arsenal because I'll be furious.
Yeah.
You know, be patient. Be patient is what I keep hearing. Well, you know, we must have the patience of saints at the moment because we've gone into pre-season training, one without a goalkeeper, right? Hardly any central defenders, no midfield because we haven't got one.
Yeah. Sold them.
We've sold them all, or they're on loan, or they've been loaned back, or whatever.
They want to
go. You know. And so this pre-season, pre-season tour. By the way, which they can get charged $7.99 for, like, you know,
just under £8, people.
Just under £8. But if you're a season ticket holder or member, you get for free. Thank you very much for that. But what they're saying is, what's it for? Because the team that's going to play in this is going to be nothing like the team that's going to be, we pray, on the first game of the season against Brentford.
Yeah, some very good
I'm very
points
worried
there.
about that.
No goalkeepers.
I know. Yeah, it's staggering. It's staggering. We don't want it to be too negative a show, but we've got to go into this stuff. It's how are we day one of pre-season and not a single new name? I could even sympathise if you've signed one or two but they're still at the Euros, they're not ready. That's fine. At least they're ready, at least you kind of know what's coming. My biggest fear for Arteta, and I say for Arteta, not of Arteta, I know Arteta's part of the transfer team where they're due, he's the manager of the club now, he plays a big part in recruitment. But my biggest worry for him is, it goes back to this, you Arteta in, out, should we change manager? Listen, does not matter if you don't have competent people who can at least help you build a squad for the start of the season. Because what's any other manager doing with this group? Listen, and by the way, some talented players. I'm sure another manager would do better. Yeah. But we're not talking about doing better, we're talking about Arsenal have a long way to go. And in terms of bridging that gap to where we want to be, doesn't matter if you go into pre-season with no new signings. So I slightly feel for Mikel there. We've got a big month coming.
Yeah, that's what frustrates me, you know. I think a lot of the time we all know where the true problem is at. This man right here, Stan Kroenke, Josh and the rest of the Kroenke family, KSC or whatever you want to call them at. But, you know, Arteta and Edu get a fair share of their stick, like Emery and Raul did, like Wenger and Gazidis did. It splits the fan base a bit. It takes our attention away from the core problems. Lee, you were about to say something.
Yeah, and that is the key. It's splitting the fan base. Even this is because you've got the loyal fans that really want to be doing well for Arsenal, saying be patient, and I get that. And you've got the frustrated fans that still want the same things. You know, well, this is not acceptable and all that. So the fact of the matter is, Arsenal were poor last season, 8th in the league. They was 8th in the league the season before that. They have an opportunity now to really just get everybody back in excitement and by bringing in one or two signings before pre-season, before this thing starts, and then you go on. Now, people have already saying, well, you know, the time's running out, we haven't had long enough. This recruitment team, whoever it is and whoever you're not, have had since February the 1st to be sorting out things. That is virtually a year, because when the summer transfer window finishes, January is January to Arsenal fans. It's not, the transfer window is not, it's just January. Let's get that correct. We don't deal in January. So the only one that we have is this summer one. So you should realistically, if it was me, you've got February to prepare, look at, and then bang, start making some killings. And we haven't. you know, we haven't sold one player.
That's the most worrying bit for me.
Exactly, from this as well.
Because that's key this summer as well. With the rumours that we need to make funds from player sales. Player sales are obviously key to this overhaul that is needed.
You know what worries me the most about the whole player sales thing is, yes, you're right, for generating funds, that's a big thing. I kind of think, even with the Cronkies, if Arsenal desperately want a player, they might find the money from somewhere. So that doesn't worry me so much. What does worry me is that it seemed Arsenal, whether it's someone feeding it to journalists or whether it was just great investigating by someone, I don't know, but it became very public that there was a big group of players Arsenal were very ready to move on. You know, and it became public that, you know what, Onana's available, so if Leno goes, you know, Leno might be sitting there going, well, I don't care, I'm not going. You know, the thing that worries me is when you take that approach of overhaul summer, hey, Mikel, are you getting backed? Yeah, I'm getting backed, we need to do a lot.
Yeah.
But then you don't do a lot, and then that first day of pre-season, you're seeing the same faces.
Yeah.
How are you selling to them because I think where we get caught up in, as fans, we get caught up in this whole these players are crap, they're rubbish, they'll never get. But you know, there's a player in all of them. You know, there's a reason. They
Sometimes
got
a purchase can unlock a current player.
There's a player in all. I mean, listen, if we started the season with current players and the midfield is Partey, El Neni, Smith Rowe, I'm still expecting that midfield to do something decent. I'm still expecting that to finish in the top 7 or 6. Next year it needs reinforcements, but I don't think that's a bad midfield. So I think the worry is that we've been very public as a club in terms of the business we want to do, and the business that looks closest to being done doesn't really address any of those other issues. And you've still got to play, well, is Xhaka returning in 2-3 weeks?
It looks like it.
Well, as things stand, it does. And actually, when a player's on the cusp of joining another team, and then it's dragging on and on, I'm starting to think, oh no, okay, have Arsenal changed their minds a little bit?
Yeah, and a word I've used commonly with Arsenal since I've been on AFTV and since I've realised what I believe is the problem at the club, and that's Kroenke, is being proactive is also a major part of doing business. It's not just spending money, it's how you spend it, it's when you spend it. And the title of this show is, you know, reactive, never proactive. You mentioned the recruitment team. In a sense, the recruitment team might as well be freelancers at Arsenal Football Club, because it seems like they're just there to do business in the transfer window. They start at the start. Yeah, because the moment they sign a contract, their job is to analyse the current setup, know what's required, find a pool of players.
React.
Yeah, and react.
What they do now is they get into a meeting and where are we going on holiday next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, the one big thing is what worries me about it. Yes, there's players at the Euros. Yes, so like, you know, you could be like Ben White, could be done after the Euros and everything like that. Yes, you've got the Cup of America going on in America, but not every player that Arsenal are going to have is in that.
And not every team is in our predicament.
Yeah, so surely, yes, we're going to get Ben White over after the transfer. We might get some South American player from whatever. There's got to. So why have they not got? Well, we need a central midfielder and central like blah blah. Get them over the line. You know, there's a little bit of talk about a while now, isn't there? Well, why has that come? Why has that come now and not at the beginning of the transfer window? If that's the man you wanted, and that's the case you're having him for 25-30 million, why is he not through the door now, getting used to pre-season, getting used to the Arsenal way, getting used to living in England, right? Then why has that not been done now? Why have we got to wait and wait and wait?
And why is it always why is it? It seems to be our fans like to make a lot of excuses up. You mentioned that a common excuse we hear is Euros, Copa America. Well, Jadon Sancho signed for United during the Euros. Yes, it hasn't been released yet, but Man United were confident enough saying it's done as soon as he comes back.
We've pretty much done Ben White. We've pretty much done Ben White.
It seems like and
I can acknowledge and accept that taking a bit longer because it's a big fee. And even if we got it done early, it doesn't matter because he's going to have that couple of weeks break. So I can acknowledge all those things. But where it gets tricky, and I go back to Arteta on this again, is this isn't just about having the players to potentially be good. The way Arteta and Arsenal, if you're getting to kind of nitty-gritty details here, we don't really know whether he wants to play the 4-3-3, in which Aouar suits that as the kind of creative midfielder or whatever. or if Partey's is box to box and he's going to have 2 holding midfielders, so it's Bissouma, the defensive midfielder.
We don't know yet, yeah.
It doesn't really look that way, and we've heard links about James Maddison. There's even a loose link to Jack Grealish in the beginning. Well, they're number 10s. So is maybe Arteta just finding a way to get what he can and play with what he gets?
But then look at the Buendia one, for example, falls right into what you're saying now, because he's a right-sided, potentially number 10 when we got Saka and Pepe on that side. So maybe you're right.
So that's where, if Arteta turns up today, yesterday, whatever, for first day of pre-season, and he goes, right, then I'll go, well, so what are we doing this year, boss? What's the plan? 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, we're going to press, I don't know yet. I don't know what I've got. Yeah. And that's genuine. That is such a massive problem. Imagine all of us, right? We turn up. Okay, supporters club. You turn up, and Robbie says to you, right. So supporters club. What's happening? Well, who are the guests?
Yeah.
How many do we have? Well, what do you need on set? Well, I don't know. Do I need the 1 chair, or do I need 2 or 3? You can't work without knowing what you've got.
Yeah.
And that's what pre-season's for, especially with a club that's not. If you're at the top, it's just, one player coming in, one little changeover here, you go. This is a club that's in transition, a club that's going to need work, not just on the transfer, on the training field as well as the pitch. So the training field becomes important. Yeah. So you get your players in, you get your system, and you start working on it. And I look at England now under Southgate. You can see they've been worked on. You can see the system. You can see whether you agree with it or not. The 2 holding midfield players, they're not going to change that whether they're winning or losing, because they believe in the system, because it's been worked on. They know what they're doing. Harry Kane drops in, Saka goes on the right hand side, we score a goal. These are little things that have all been worked out in training. Now we're going to go into pre-season training. You're saying, right, I'll tell you what, you're playing Maitland-Niles and Joe Willock. You're playing that midfield role. Come a week before the season starts, one of them's off to Newcastle, one of them's off to. What is the point?
I couldn't agree more.
What is the point? These players should be in now, working out their system, and then so when you come into that first game of the season, you're up and running. What will tend to happen there is that we're going to be up and running after 5 or 6 games, because we've used Manchester City, Brentford, Chelsea as pre-season games when they shouldn't be the pre-season game. The pre-season games are Rangers, Hibs, Chelsea, in those sort of games, Spurs and all that. And this is the problem that we've got.
We haven't started a season on the front foot for how long?
But we had a very good example of this. Do you remember the Community Shield 2 weeks before the season started? Now, I'll forgive the club that last year was obviously a very tight turnaround from the end to the start of the season. But Martinez, who we pretty much all knew was going to go, started in the Community Shield. Now people are probably watching this, so what's a goalkeeper? But no, because Martinez was a much better player out the back than Leno, much more composed.
And we thought that was the indicator of who starts the season, I remember.
Absolutely, and one of the reasons we won that semi-final, final and Community Shield against City, Chelsea and Liverpool was because of how well we played out the back. Martinez's composure, distribution allowed us to stretch the opposition, and we played expertly through. And we've not been able to do that as well since Leno. We still do it sometimes, but not as well. I'm not criticising Leno, by the way. I think Leno's great at other things. But that's a very good example of where then the deal goes through and we're starting. I always think a striker and goalkeeper set the tone for the team.
Changing the system.
You've got to have a great striker to score goals, you've got to have a great keeper. And everything changes. So it's a real worry. I'm not a ranty, moany kind of... I'm not really a controversial type. And when I did that News Daily show earlier in the week and, the title was What the Star is Going On, it's because I'm sitting there thinking, how have we done this again? And maybe I'm naive for having faith that actually the people might know what they're doing. But with every day that goes past, and every day we hear, this deal is really close, they're near, great, but that deal might be really close. Yeah. But in terms of the completion of the business we need to do, we're still miles away.
And that's a great point that you two guys made just there about the goalkeeper, because we've all played football and all that, and I don't care what anybody says. 2 goalkeepers, a different goalkeeper coming in, there's a different mindset. All of a sudden, you look at, I don't know, say Martinez, he comes out, he catches the ball. Leno comes out and punches the ball. So there's a different set of positionings for that to be where you're going to say, right, your goalkeeper's going to come and punch, so if he does that, I'm going to let him come through. If he's going to come and catch, I'm going to look to protect him so that he can catch. So there's two different scenarios there. So all of a sudden, you've gone all through pre-season training and the Charity Shield with one system, and then all of a sudden another goalkeeper comes in. All of a sudden, the defence is not looking quite the same, is it? Looking a bit shaky. Well, the reason it's looking shaky is because it's not worked with that goalkeeper for 3 or 4 weeks. And that's what you've got to do. Partnerships are built up from the left backs to the right backs, central defenders and whatever, to in midfield. At this moment, you know, I look at Arsenal's successful sides over won titles: Vieira Petit, Vieira Gilberto, Adams Bold, Adams Sol Campbell. Partnerships. Where's the partnership in the midfield? We've got Partey. Who's his partner in there? Who's Gabriel's partner at central defender?
Honestly, couldn't agree more.
You need that.
True.
You need that.
You look at the best sides, Man City this season, and it doesn't matter what we think of Laporte, who I think we all agree is a class defender.
Yeah.
When it clicked for Stones and Diaz, at every big game, at every opportunity, Pep went with that.
Yeah.
And
regardless of what Laporte done in the past and the credit he had in the bank.
Absolutely, but you only got to look at who's their second goalkeeper, Man City. I think it's Stefan. I think he's considered pretty decent. He's an American goalkeeper. But when they brought him in for the Cups, they didn't look the same.
Yeah.
They didn't look the same because Edison is elite at what he does, and it feeds into everything you've been saying. So these minor things,
accumulate.
I think a lot of people say, well, let's just wait till the end of the window before we judge it. I was on that 2 weeks ago. But now I think when pre-season's starting and the season starts in a month, this is the time to start judging the window.
Yeah.
Because preparation's begun.
The trouble
is, already.
And I love the patient thing from the fans. Let's wait. Let's be patient. The window closes on the end of August.
In an ideal world, that's how you want to be.
In an ideal world. And what happens then is, and I'll tell you what happens is, the window closes, you have one game and then you're off to international breaks and everything like that. So you're still not working with the players till mid-September.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, be patient and get them on the last day. We've done that for the last 10, 15 years, what we've been saying. Come to the beginning of the season, we're undercooked. We're not properly doing it. So again, learn your lessons. This isn't the way to work. Yes, if you're a Manchester United, yes, you're a Manchester City, you can afford to wait for the Harry Kane right at the end of the because you've got the basis of a very, very good team anyway. We are not at that stage, so we cannot afford to be giving people points. And what can I say? In January, Manchester City are on 12 points and we're on 6. We can't afford to give Manchester City 6 points at any stage over us.
Yeah.
It's like if you're playing snooker against Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'll tell you what, Ronnie, I'll play you, but you have a 30 start. You know what I mean? Well, he's going to beat you anyway, whether he's got a 30 start or not. You know what I mean? So what? So you cannot afford to give Manchester City and Manchester United and Liverpool points in front.
It is incredible because you look at Leicester, who very quickly got Soumare and Daka through the door, right? I think people forget that. You hear that and people go, yeah, well, Leicester, they've been doing very well, whatever. Leicester didn't get Champions League football.
When are we going to do very well?
Absolutely, but Leicester didn't get Champions League football. Yeah. But that didn't slow them down. So I don't know what it is at Arsenal. Whenever you hear reports from people that I consider reliable, I even chuck the AFC Bell in there, who, by the way, got verified on Twitter, congrats, which I find quite funny. And you hear things from journalists, little words that worry me, like Arsenal are assessing the market. That just sounds like total
It needs to be
reaction.
assessed in the season.
But that's just them going, let's see that's interesting, so maybe he's available.
Yeah.
Listen, big clubs don't do that.
How many players have we seen go by? Like you just said with Leicester, Soumare and Daka, I think Arsenal fans would have been happy seeing both come through the door this summer.
The other thing there, which Arsenal are not now, which we've changed, we've gone away from. Yes, bring in the player, like Manchester City, for instance, Manchester United, if they bring in the player in January, at the end of the month, end of August, beginning of September, that's it, goes into the side. Leicester, I'm pretty sure under Brendan Rodgers, he's telling the board, look, I need to work with these players to make them better. I need to get them on the training field to make them a better player so that we can go on. So I need the time. Mikel Arteta is in the same sort of scenario. He needs the time to make these players better because this is the sort of coach he is. He's a coach who's going to make players better. Now, Pep Guardiola doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to have that time because he's going to bring in
the best of
the best. So these guys are going to bring in players that are, you know, young, enthusiastic, willing to learn, hungry, but they've still got to learn. And they've still got to get them on the training. That's what Leicester are doing. So come to the beginning of the season when Leicester are up there again, there's a reason why, because they've got them all in now early, and they've been worked on and know what they're doing, and they're being assessed. Now, also the other thing is that they have a look at these players and go, are they ready for the Premier League quite yet? Are they ready for that first game yet? I'll have a little look at me, but not quite ready. Yes, he's ready, he's not. We have to just chuck them in
and see,
because we don't know, because we've not had enough time.
Yeah, and you're going to get it wrong. They spent 30 million on Jose Perez because
you're going to get it wrong.
Okay, he's done fine. He's not been a £30 million player. But the point is that they got their man, they got it done early. And where I think Arsenal might be missing a trick here, and obviously I've never worked in this industry, so I don't know, but kind of just applying some common sense to it. I think the reason Arsenal struggle sometimes to get deals over the line, including selling players, is because there's a lot of penny pinching there. Well, you know what? We know Arsenal need to sell. We know this. We know that. So if you're Roma, you're probably standing strong on Xhaka because you're thinking they've got to sell. They'd love an extra 18 million to go towards Ben White or whatever. So that makes it difficult for us. But if Arsenal set the tone at the beginning of the window, they went, we want White, Tavares, Lokonga, I know Maddison, Leicester fans going mad, but say Maddison, and another central midfielder, whatever. And actually you got them all done in the first month and a half. The other teams that want to buy your players are suddenly going, well, Arsenal didn't. Even if you run a deficit for a bit, even if suddenly you've overspent a little bit, you're in a bit of debt, but you're sending the message out, listen, we didn't need to sell to get who we wanted, right? We've got them in, and if Xhaka's got a rot in the reserves, but I'm not advocating, I'm just saying, you're sending that message, right? We didn't have to sell him, so if you want him, you've got to pay. Right? You're sending a different message to clubs. They're probably looking at Arsenal going, we know they're desperate for
We never send strong messages.
It's a great point, and they're also saying to Xhaka, we want you. You're coming, but be patient with it, like, you know what I mean? And so he's sitting there on holiday now, knowing that probably that he's going to go there, and Roma will sit on it and sit. And the other side of it is then you don't want. I'm just picking on Grant Xhaka because he's an example. Then him coming back into training and not being the jovial sort of person that he was, you know what I mean, and just upsetting the apple cart a little bit. All these little things matter. Because when you look at a football club, you know, and you say, whether it be an England game or an Arsenal game or whatever, everybody turns around, oh, it's thin lines between success and failure. Well, it's thin lines between success and failure in everything. And that's in pre-season as well. Now, when we go into pre-season, it doesn't. If you're winning games in pre-season, doesn't mean to say you're going to win games come the season go. But it's all about getting things, working out, and also working out the individuals. You know what I mean? Now, for instance, you can be in I don't know. You're going off to Scotland now for 5 days, right? You can see if Guendouzi or someone like that's a little bit of trouble or something like that. Blah 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 blah. We don't know, but you gauge how people are. But we're going to just we buy him on the 31st. We chuck him in, and all of a sudden he ain't a good traveller, or he doesn't like this and that.
Why do you think Chelsea were able to recuperate 60 million or whatever for Morata? Because clubs buying Morata knew that Chelsea already had Pulisic tied down for 57 mil. They didn't care. Listen, we don't really care if if you want to be paid, this is what it is. A
common phrase I've been using around Arsenal in the last few weeks and months, and to be honest, I could have used it in the last 10 years, and what you just said clarifies it. Make it make sense. Pre-season is to get the team ready. How can the team be ready if the team is not even there? And every summer is the same way. And I've got a few quotes here, and these are quotes from Josh Kroenke when he had the AST fans forum a couple of days after the Super League news and nonsense, and how it came and went. One of the quotes here I have is, let me go to the beginning. We have no intention of selling the club. We have big plans to invest. We have plans. We want to be great again, but our long-term model does not support long-term high investment. What does that mean?
Listen, the guys are clearly smart business people, right? I know they're running a sports club, so it's very questionable, but they're clearly successful business people. So maybe in business theory or whatever, he's got a point, but football doesn't really operate like a lot of businesses. You often have to spend and spend and spend just to keep up. Yeah, self-sustaining is great. In fact, a lot of clubs probably do, to a degree, operate on that. I think Liverpool are quite self-sustaining. I don't think their owner puts in millions and millions and millions every summer. But you got to get there to be self-sustaining. Otherwise, what are we sustaining?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
We're sustaining 8th.
100%.
You know.
We've got a couple more quotes here. If you're expecting to see more, absolutely. Let's start on this call right now. I want to interact more in a more meaningful way, whether that's at board level or in a fans forum. All I can say is you have my word. All I can say is fuck your word, Josh Kroenke. You're going to be seeing a lot of me, as you have hopefully the last few years, more and more over in London with the club. What will I do to engage more with fans? Well, interactions such as this on Microsoft Teams. When I'm in there in person, we're going to be sitting down in the boardroom over in Highbury, like as we did over in Highbury several years ago. This guy doesn't even know when it was. There's going to be many more interactions like this. It's not going to be a surprise. It's going to be a scheduled appearance by myself with dialogue back and forth between the likes of us. A scheduled appearance. He's not doing a concert. We don't even need you to be here.
Well, I don't even want to hear from him.
Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, when you go on the field, I'm not interested about how he's going to react or interact with fans. I don't care. I don't care if I don't ever want to see and talk to him. What I want to see him as an owner is sort my football club out and make it proud to be an Arsenal fan again, and that is invest in proper play. And this is your opportunity. Actions speak louder than words. Action in the transfer market will make me a very, very happy man. You know what I mean? Like, because I want to go into next season feeling that we're going to be able to do so. At this moment in time, I've got no excitement about Arsenal whatsoever, because at this moment in time, we're going to be in the same position as we are last season. So you've got to do something.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to interact and make it with the fans is to do the job of the recruitment and back them up to get the players that we need in this football club. No, and it's all about football. It's all about footballers.
Yeah.
It's not about whether you can talk to me. I don't care. If Josh Kroenke said to me, Lee, I want to take you to dinner, I say go and put the money on a midfield player. I don't want to go and have lunch with him or dinner with him. I want him to run my football club properly so I can be proud of it.
Yeah. James, any final thoughts on that last bit there?
I completely agree. Actions speak louder than words. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true. I mean, give us a transfer window run by people who are competent and have a CV that has a history of doing it and being successful in it. Buy players who've proven they can do it. Or maybe not necessarily proven, but, a Ben White. I like a Ben White. And then they're talking to the fans. Listen, that matters. That matters because I want to see that they care, but I don't need them to jump on Skype to me, once a month.
Yeah.
Tell me, by the way, I still care. I want to see you celebrate a goal. I want to see your dad just stand. I want to see him.
Yeah.
That quote came out of there was an owner who had to turn around when he went to a game and said, "So which one's my team?"
Yeah.
That was definitely
100%. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. He was probably wearing our away or third kit and he didn't know what was going on.
And it's a great point. Look, David Dean, for instance, didn't do all great things for Arsenal, you know what I mean? But every game was there. So if you looked up to the director's box and we had a bad performance, you could look up and take a little bit of heart that he'd seen what you'd seen, and maybe he's not going to allow that to happen. The same with the owners before, that would do that. Like the Hillwoods went out my head for a minute there, they didn't do everything great, but would be in the direct spot. So you could look at them, even though you're not saying it. Have you just seen what I've just seen there? Are you going to do something about it? And they'd go back in and go, well, that weren't great. You can imagine what we've got to do. So, but at this minute of time, you look up there, it's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry, I forgot what my point was going to be. But I completely agree with you. It's that sort of sense of comfort. You guys understand what we're going through here, and we're going to work together to sort this out.
Yeah.
Or at least feel like there's people who care about sorting out from within. I mean, I've got to say, I'm curious what Arteta thinks of all this, because to kind of put a positive spin on this, the reason we're feeling the way we're feeling and when we're saying what we're saying on this show is, I'd rather say it now and be proactive ourselves, be proactively looking at the problems and hopefully get a bit of a stir around that, and whatever, maybe if it gets the club moving, I don't know, they probably don't listen to us, but be talking about it, because it can still change, it can still turn around. We could still have 4 or 5 signings in the next 3 weeks before the season started, get maybe another one in by the end, and okay, that's a decent window, but the signs don't look good. Everything sort of seems to be, delayed and delayed and delayed. And I'd love to know what Arteta's thinking. He'd never come on AFTV.
No.
But imagine if you had him here just to say, Mikel, I know you're grateful for this opportunity and everything, but are you happy? Are you happy with the way?
Or
does he think, you know what, it's just the best I'm going to get, so I'll do what I can.
And you're so right, we just said there, James. Look, I'd love to be in 4 weeks' time, come on the show, I'll bring you champagne in, we'll sit there, and we've had 4 or 5 good signings, and do you know what I mean, just sip champagne and go, do you know what, the board have done their job, they've come through. Now it's up to Mikel and the players, but ultimately, they've come through, they've given us an opportunity to enjoy the season. Yeah. Instead of thinking, oh well.
Yeah, and I'd really like to make a sort of a plea to fans out there, watching it. We're going to watch Arsenal, and we're going to be disappointed when Bellerin gets a cross wrong, or Pepe misses a chance, or Xhaka makes a mistake. We're going to have that. And actually, I think this season more than ever, call me crazy, I think I'm going to be less on the players' back than ever before. I think I'm just going to say, well, yeah, Xhaka made an error, because he does that sometimes. Yeah, Bellerin struggled to have an impact from right back, because we've seen him for the last year and a half struggle to. I'm almost at a point where, of course, Aubameyang didn't play well. He had no service because we didn't sign a number 10 again. Like, I'm almost at this point where I'll sort of be watching the players and almost feeling sorry for them. Like, you need help. And we didn't give it. And even Arteta, to a degree, I'd be saying, well, of course he's not doing it. I mean, within reason. If he's 15th, I would say, listen, doesn't matter what you got, it should be 15th. Yeah. But if we're lounging 7th, 8th, I'll be going,
it's the realisation, it's the reality.
Cool. Of course
reality of what it is.
I appreciate you, James, for coming on, Lee, as always.
I loved it. Good debate, that.
Yeah, good conversation. People, clip this bit up, because AFTV had been going for 8 years now. It's been called negative for a long time. It blew off of a Chris Hudson interview, off of the back of likes of Claude, rest in peace, Troops, DT, Lee Judges, and so on. The negativity is and was the reality of the situation we're in now. And as much as Josh Kroenke comes out and speaks to Arsenal Supporters Trust and promises to speak to further fans moving forward, speak to us. Speak to me, Lee Judges and James. I know you said Arteta wouldn't come on Arsenal Fan TV, but if Josh wants to speak to fans, it's not all Arsenal Supporters Trust, it's not all Red Action, it's not all Black Scarf. AFTV have a platform, we have fans, we have voices too. Speak to us and let's see what you're really about. This has been the Supporters Club, people. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below and hit the like button and do all of that. Love and peace, people. I'll be back next week.